wife and she were pregnant, I would say definitely you can take it, right? You can definitely drink this. It's probably going to be the healthiest thing you'll do all day for yourself and for your baby. Pregnancy is always a very high-risk time of life, and so from a company perspective, companies are always going to say, no, pregnant, no, danger. No, we don't want to recommend anything there. Go talk to your doctor, okay, and then let your doctor make that recommendation. But a doctor's going to look at it and go, hey, nice nutrition profile. This would be perfect for you. So, but that's something the doctor should recommend, not the company. Okay. Yes. Yeah. What do I recommend? So if I were here, it's just so if you got me when I was speaking at the conference, at the scientific conference, I was there as a scientist, right? Not as a Montague representative. And if you asked me that same question, I would say, yeah, it'd be a great thing for pregnant women. Because it's got good protein, good carbohydrate, good fat, good fiber, good vitamins, good phytonutrients, all the stuff that you would try to put together in a healthy meal yourself is already there. You just blend it up and you're done. So, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I would give you the same recommendation for breastfeeding. Yeah. And same for the juices. I think it'd be fine. But again, from a company, since I am on a Montague stage, right? It's from a company perspective. Check with your doctor just to make sure. You're all taping this, right? So. Yes.
So what about children then?
Yeah, we were talking about that before. So my kids use the shake every morning. My daughter's 14, my son's 11. It's perfectly appropriate for them. I think appropriate for any kids as long as they're already on solid food. Like I wouldn't give it to maybe a 1-year-old who's eating baby food or something like that, right? Or maybe even a 2-year-old. But once they're eating regular food, I mean, it's as healthy an option as they're going to get. And it tastes good, and it's easy for them, and you can throw a banana in there, or this is something else if you think that they need more nutrition. But it's already been built to be the healthiest meal of the day.
1 sachet, 1 pack.
So for a kid, you probably want to only do half, right? So from a calorie standpoint, those kids probably don't need to be getting that many calories in a particular meal. So think back again to whatever your total calorie need is for the day. You want to try to space it out as much as possible. Okay. So my kids do drink a whole one, but my kids can use the calories. There's nothing to them. They're on the low body weight side, and they need to gain some weight. So we're trying to pump them full of good nutrition.
I've already answered this question. I had to step out. But,
yeah.
When you start the revolution, the idea is, okay, let's lose a lot of weight and lose it quick.
Yeah.
And it gets frustrating when you're not taking that weight off quick.
Yeah.
So what's a healthy, how long should you look to lose the kind of weight that you're wanting to lose?
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit, and it's frustrating because there's so many products out there where you do lose weight in a short amount of time, right? You go on some of these cleanse programs that are out there, and you'll lose a pound a day for the week that you're on it. But you have to realize that that's almost exclusively water weight that you're just shedding out from stored water in your muscles and your liver and your gut. So what I was saying is that it takes time for that fat-burning machinery to sort of get up to speed when we get ourselves in a good blood sugar control zone. So I was telling people, don't even look at the scale for the first 3 or 4 or maybe as long as 6 weeks. We'll have people in the trials that we do. Almost always our weight loss trials are 12 weeks. And we do that because if you do a 4-week weight loss trial, all you're measuring is water loss. If you do an 8-week trial, you'll have people who get to the end of that and they're just starting their fat machinery, and so they're not going to show the dramatic weight loss that you want. You go out to 12 weeks so that you can capture everybody turning on their fat-burning machinery. We'll have people all the time who they'll weigh in and they'll be sad, and they'll weigh in again and they'll be sad. Every week we're sitting in this room, and you can tell the people who have turned on and who have not turned on, because the turned on ones are sitting there and they're all happy and they're feeling good, and the other ones who have not turned on yet, they're feeling good but they haven't lost any weight. Or they're sitting there like this and they're looking at me and they're angry because they haven't lost any weight yet. And then 6 weeks into the program, Now that sad, angry person is now happy because that week they started losing that fat. You know, so we have to. It's challenging to get people to stick with it. But when you stick with it, you're going to lose fat, and once that fat is gone, it's more likely to stay away because you maintain your muscle. Your bone, your block, those sorts of things. Okay? So, yeah.
Well, my case gained like close something out here.
Your kids, say that again?
My
Gain weight, not lose weight.
It's not his kids.
Your kids?
No, his
Kids.
My case.
His kids.
Boy.
The situation.
You gained 2 kilos.
Yeah, but my friends who know me ABC get me and say let's meet up.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
You
yeah,
use
muscle. Exactly. So you can look slimmer and you can be slimmer in terms of your waistband, but there's been no change on the scale. Or maybe it went up.
Yeah,
It's because
then
muscle,
there's something
a pound of muscle
because
and a
even
pound of
measure
fat
at
can take up different amounts of space. A pound of muscle maybe takes up this space. A pound of fat takes up this space. So you could be the same body weight or a higher body weight, and you can be heavier because muscle is more dense than fat is, right? I joke around with people sometimes and I'll say, what weighs more, a pound of fat or a pound of muscle? And everybody says, a pound of muscle weighs more. Same, yeah, exactly. A pound is a pound on the scale, but because muscle is denser, it takes up less space. So you can have a lot of muscle in a small space, and people might look at you and say, you look thinner. And you are thinner to the look, but you're heavier. And that's actually a good thing, because now you have more muscle, which is going to burn more calories, which means you can eat more before you gain weight. Right? That's one of the reasons I exercise as much as I do, so I can eat more. Right? I love to be healthy, and I love to do the triathlons and things that I do, but one of the main drivers for me is that I exercise a lot, and I can eat a lot without gaining weight, and that's a good thing to do. Because I love food. So there are other questions that I can answer? Yeah.
So there's particular situations. If a person situation like obese, extreme obese, right, 165 kg,
Yeah.
at the age of 45
Yeah.
years old, and she have not done any exercise maybe, and is that possible that could it be detoxification had to start first before we go for the RDL?
No, no.
Not necessary.
So you know, detoxes are okay, I guess. I'm not in favor of detoxes, and I'm not against detoxes. I'm kind of like, if you want to do one, fine. But if you eat this way, right, this palm, you know, helping hand way, if you're eating that way and you're getting lots of fruits and vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats, and you're taking a shake like the Reveal shakes, it has the phytonutrients and the antioxidants, you're already doing a detox. Like, that is a detox to your body. And so you don't have to go do a separate detox where you're doing a cleanse, or doing laxatives, or doing diuretics, or that kind of stuff. I don't think you need to do that. If people if their idea of a detox, though, is, okay, I'm going to stop eating all these bad foods, I'm going to go off of my soda, and I'm going to stop eating fast food, and I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables. If that's their idea of a detox, terrific. That's what we want them to do anyway. But I don't think you have to do a separate detox plan in order to get your body going. I think you just need to get on that health regimen, and things will start to happen for sure. Okay. Yeah.
I understand that RBF have very good protein building.
Yeah.
Can those muscle builders or bodybuilders substitute their protein products with RBF?
Yeah, that's a great question. So whey protein is the best kind of protein for two things: for weight loss, fat loss, and muscle building. And there's been good studies to show this. Like, you can take lots of blends of protein that are fine, but if you specifically want to lose fat, gain muscle, whey protein is definitely the way to go. And it has to do with several things. It has to do with the way it's absorbed. It has to do with the amino acid profile. So whey protein is very high in this one category of amino acids called branched chain amino acids, and one of those specifically called leucine when it gets into the muscles, it stimulates protein synthesis. It stimulates muscle building much better than any other kind of protein. So from that perspective, that's definitely the way to go. From a bodybuilder perspective, if they're really trying to build muscle, the most important thing for them is their exercise routine, right? If they just ate the protein and didn't work out, it really wouldn't have the effect that they're looking for. The way for them to use Reveal would be to use it during their workouts, right? So when I go lift weights, if I use a second Reveal shake in a day, that's how I'll do it. I always have it for breakfast, then I'll take a bottle with me, a shaker bottle, to the gym, and I'll sip on it as I'm doing my weights. And that's during, because what that's doing is it's delivering those amino acids to the muscle at the time that your muscle needs it, and it's delivering it at a much higher rate. So think about it, right? You're doing curls, and your muscle's getting all that blood flow there. That blood flow would be delivering the amino acids right to the muscle that you're working. Not to your legs, not to your big toe, not to anywhere else, delivering it right to where that muscle is working so that you're stimulating even more. The difference between taking the protein during that workout versus taking it, let's say, 2 hours later, is about a 500% improvement in protein synthesis and muscle building. Okay, so those, if you know people who are exercisers like that, bodybuilder types, they can take the shakes right then during their workouts, and they wouldn't need to take their other shakes. And I would guarantee the other shakes they're taking, they're probably wasting some of their money, because a lot of those bodybuilding shakes are 40 or so grams of protein, and you actually don't need that much. You only need about half of that. So right around 18 grams, 20 grams is probably the what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like the sweet spot. It's the exact amount that you need. If you're taking more than that, you're really not getting an additional stimulation of protein synthesis.
So when we work out every day, we can also take during the workout, is it?
Yeah, so you can do it during if you want to.
Okay.
Like I'll take my shakes during a weight workout, but I wouldn't do it during a running workout. Something like that.
Okay.
No one wants to spill milkshake all over
Like
you.
resistance.
No, that's very individual. So she said, is there a time frame for drinking it and then working out? That's really more based on your individual preferences. Some people like to have something in their stomach when they work out, and some people don't because it makes them feel too full and stuff like that. I'd rather work out on an empty stomach. If I'm going to run or swim or something like that, I'd rather do that before I eat. Whereas when I'm lifting weights, and that's an important thing. If you guys aren't lifting weights, you really should try to do that. Fit that in, right? Don't just walk. Don't just run. Don't just lift weights. Do a little bit of all of that.
So should
Depends on the person. She just said that exercising on an empty stomach will lower your sugar. It's very individual. So you might get somebody who that happens to them, so they have to eat something before they exercise. You might get somebody else who, if they eat something before they exercise, they feel bloated and nauseous, and they're not able to get a good workout. So it's very, very individualized. Yeah, very subjective, exactly. Yeah.
I also understand that RPMs is only a weight management product that recognized by international.
Oh yeah, good. So let's dispel that rumor right now, right? So I mentioned in a talk one time, it was right when we were coming out with this new formula for the Reveal shakes, right? And they said, somebody in the audience asked me, so how did you come up with the new formula? Like, what did you change? And we said, well, there's some new research. We updated the protein blend, we updated the carbohydrate blend, we updated the fat blend. Just a little bit more research. We decided to build it in. And it happened at the same time I was also building a product for the International Olympic Committee, right? So the same recommendations that I made to the Olympic Committee is the same formula that we have built into the Reveal shake. So I said that, I'm like, hey, if it's good enough for these elite level athletes, it should be good enough for Monavi and the rest of the world, right? So there. And somehow the next day, it was out on Facebook and out on the internet that it was recommended by the International Olympic Committee. And that's not. I'm part of an International Olympic Committee sports medicine program, but there's no official stamp of approval from the IOC. Right? The IOC doesn't recommend products. In fact, when that hit, the U.S. Olympic Committee called me and said, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" And I went, "Oh no!" The International Olympic Committee, Medical Board, Sport Nutrition Organization, USOC, none of the Olympic centers around the world endorse products. Right?
None of them
even though
endorse
I'm
any
on the
products.
committee and I formulate the product, we have to keep that separate. Okay?
Should we start resistance workout first or then the cardio? So
That
we
is
should.
a great question. Yeah, so
Yeah, which
should
is
you do your cardio
before or after?
first, or
Because I
your
got
weights
conflicting
first?
information on that. Yeah.
Yes.
So which is before, which is after?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter. The only place where it would matter is that if you are you trying to do them on the same day? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd prefer for you to separate them
Oh,
and do
okay.
them on different days,
Right.
so that you can really focus on your cardio one day.
Okay.
And you can focus on your weights one day. What happens sometimes is that, and if you have to do them on the same day, then I would say one day you do one first, and then the other second, and then the next day you switch them.
Oh,
the next day
okay.
you switch them. The next day you switch them.
Right.
If you have to do them both on the same day,
Okay.
then do it that way.
Yeah.
What happens sometimes is that you do your weights first, and then you're too tired to get a good cardio workout.
Oh,
or you do
okay.
your cardio workout first, and then you're too tired to do a good weight workout.
Oh,
So
okay.
I try to
Mix
separate
it.
them.
Okay.
So you get a good hard workout on one, and then a good hard workout on the other. And when you do your cardio, do you guys do intervals when you do your cardio? Okay, so you have to do intervals. So if you're gonna go walking for 30 minutes, don't just go and walk at a steady pace for 30 minutes. That's the worst thing.
Yeah,
You can do.
yeah.
Well, it's not the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is to not walk for 30 minutes, right? To watch TV for 30 minutes. That's the worst thing you can do. Of that 30 minutes, you want to make sure you're going hard and then easy, and
Yeah.
then hard and then easy, and then hard and then easy. You can alternate every minute. You can alternate 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can alternate however you like.
Okay.
But the fact that you're going harder and then easier means you're burning more total calories. You're burning more fat throughout the entire workout. Sometimes in the studies we've done, we've looked at, what have we looked at? Ours is 18 minutes. 18 minutes of cardio
Okay.
doing intervals burns double the calories compared to 18 minutes of steady state.
Oh.
Double. Yeah, it's a huge, huge benefit. So one of the main reasons for people not exercising is time, right? So if you can get more calories burned in a shorter amount of time, that's a good thing for everybody. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? I think probably, yeah.
One more question.
Okay.
Is that true? RPL, we have to do exercise until our heart rate 130 heart rate in order to burn our calories.
Well, is it,
Is that but I try to measure myself is about, I can go the most is 100
yeah,
on the treadmill.
Your heart rate is going to be very individualized. So a 50-year-old versus a 30-year-old, they're going to have different heart rate zones that they're going to be targeting. In our studies, we don't monitor heart rate in the workouts. We'll have people use what we call perceived exertion. So we'll say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10, where 0 is sleeping and 10 is sprinting as hard as you can go, you want to go around 7 or 8. Okay, so that's the intensity that you ought to be going. You don't want to be going really hard. You don't want to be going really easy. But you might, in that 7 to 8,
Moderation
8 to 9
again.
on your very hardest of your intervals, you want to be going up and down, but not sprinting and not cruising. It should be just hard enough. Another way to gauge it is that when you're on the hard part, you don't want to be talking to your friends, right? Okay, in a minute, 1 minute is this interval, and then at the end of that one, then during the easy, then you can carry on a conversation and you can go, all right, minutes
okay.
up. Okay, so you should be that out of breath. That's a good way to gauge where you're working out hard enough.
So it's not necessary to measure those.
If you want to and get very specific about it, you can, but I don't think there's any magic heart rate zone. Okay? All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Dr. Shawn, a warm Malaysian thank you. It's been a good day.
Yes.
RBL Shake, now this, and you're going to be here from 3 to 6 doing another meeting. So the office is open. You can go have an RBL Shake or some juice and be back here at 3 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
Thank you all.